Good evening and welcome to the Bobby Moore Stand. My name's Gary and this is Rob Banks. Some of you will know him, I would imagine. I hope so anyway. How are you, Rob?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, always a pleasure. So this is hopefully the beginning of a series. Chris is going to join us later if he gets home from work on time. Now, if you don't know Rob, he's a best-selling author of West Ham books. Going back, and you've had 4 out so far, haven't you, Rob? It's An
Yeah,
Irrational Hatred of Luton, West Ham Till I Die, The Legend of Barry Green,
legacy of Barry Green.
The
Yeah,
Legacy of Barry Green,
and
and
irrational
An
hatred of
Irrational
everything.
Hatred of
Yeah,
Irrational Hatred of Everything, which was the recent one. What do you call a 4-book series, Rob?
4 books.
Is that it?
Uh,
Well, 3 is
it's
a
not a
trilogy.
trilogy. One
What's
up from
4?
a trilogy. A trilogy
Yeah.
plus one.
Oh, right, brilliant. Okay. What we're going to do, Rob also runs a channel, a YouTube channel called West Ham History. He's an unofficial historian of West Ham. And what he's done, those books kind of they kind of timeline a certain period in West Ham supporting history from Rob's point of view. Lots of ups, hell of a lot of downs, a lot of sarcasm. You know, some funny moments, some sad moments, and some satire and whatever else. Very good reads. But what he's done is with the videos, I think Rob, you've tried to just kind of put that into video form where you've taken it and broken it down into 20-minute sections, right? And you've made 200 plus of those videos, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't start out with that intention. I started I went back to 1974 and started with the John Lyall period.
Yeah.
And they seem to be quite popular, sort of mixing the music and the news
Yeah.
stories and everything else. And nostalgia's solid gold these days, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
they're brilliant, aren't they? Because it's a mix of everything. So you've got, I'm going to take a demonetization on this video, right? It'll be worth it. You'll see it later because we're choosing an absolute blinder from when most of you will remember, which is like 1997. Harry Redknapp's West Ham fighting against relegation. Then something happens. Something very big happens. Big and ginger. And it's I think everybody of a certain age, or maybe below a certain age as well, will remember this. And if you're too young to remember it, God, you got to see this. You got to see this. It was prime West Ham time, wasn't it? So, what we're going to do, we're going to go through the news. There's not much to talk about in the news, but I'll include you guys in the chat, and then we will. We're going to play that video and sort of talk about it as it goes. So here we go. Let's go so on to the news. Now, as we know, Lucas Paqueta injured tragically from a tussle with a teammate in training the other day. He on his Instagram today apparently had his leg in a massive, great big plaster cast, which nobody really wants to see. He is he's not going to play on Saturday. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but I think that probably gives us a bit of a selection problem, or maybe it'll be actually good for us if you think about it. Not good that we're going to lose someone as talented as Paqueta, but then he was a bit rubbish in the first half on Saturday, very rubbish. Second half he was brilliant. Might have been because he got moved central and he had a striker to aim at. But now we're going to have, Kudus Bowen, and probably Ferguson has to play by default from the start. So that's probably the upside, yeah? That's probably the upside. And I think, it's going to be interesting what he selects. I'm going to have a look at the, I don't know whether I'll do a reaction. I think I'll do a reaction later, reaction video to Graham Potter's latest match preview. To be honest, he didn't gaslight anyone, Rob, after that game. He doesn't seem to do that. He seems to call it as it is, right? He doesn't bother with making stuff up or making excuses. He sort of said, I think he almost admitted that he got it wrong.
yeah, I quite like, so far what I've seen of Potter's, his press coverage and his demeanour and his attitude has been really, really good in pre and post match conferences and what he said. He was on Football Focus on Saturday as well.
Yeah, he's very articulate, isn't he, Rob?
Yeah,
very articulate.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, and he's I love the way he doesn't he treats all of the journos questions, no matter how stupid, with a little bit of respect. And some of them are very stupid.
They did pull one out the other day, didn't they, for being stupid?
Oh, that was when they kept asking about transfers for other players from
Yeah.
other clubs when he'd already
It
warned
was a
them off.
stupid question.
Yeah, yeah. It's like he said, don't ask me about other clubs' players, and then someone asked him about another club's player straight after. Bit silly, bit silly. But um, but yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. What happens on at Arsenal on Saturday? I've been invited to sit in the posh seats over at Arsenal. Never done that before, so that should be quite interesting. Retrospectively, looking back at that game at the weekend, there are a number of people we didn't pick out for having god awful performances. And looking back at the actual numbers now, you realise how bad people were. Kudus gave the ball away 13 times. I didn't know that, but he did. Alvarez's stats in the first half were woeful. When you look at his stats in the second half, they were a lot better, as you'd expect. Now, if you look at Paqueta, terrible in the first half, like I mentioned earlier, and when you look at the defenders, statistically, not with your eyes, but statistically, Kilman was the worst defender. Does that surprise you, Rob? I picked Mavropanos out myself.
Yeah, I mean, Mavropanos did a few good things uh, after his mistake, and
Yeah,
but Kilman seems to be the first one down on the team sheet every week, and he's not necessarily the best defender every week. But
no.
I don't know what his stats were, but as I said to you before the show, no one really covered themselves in glory in that first half, did they?
No.
But Wan-Bissaka seems to sort of wander about all over the place
Mm.
and leave a hole, and that exposes Mavropanos. For me, I think Mavropanos gets a bit of unfair criticism because he ends up having to do the work of two men most of the time.
Yeah, no,
Um,
he does actually do some good things. If you look at his stats, because
mm,
I don't like being unfair to players, and I did tear into him a little bit after that game because of just what I'd seen. And but when you actually look at his stats and the duels run that he wins and stuff like that, it's actually statistically all right. And I think that's the only way you can judge it, right? You got to look back and see what they actually did, because sometimes what they actually did and what you see live in the ground are two different things, aren't they?
yeah,
So
yeah, that's
I'm
true.
determined. I'm determined to meet you at half time and be happy, right? Because we keep meeting up and being miserable.
It might happen at some point in the next, maybe not this season.
Yeah, yeah, maybe, maybe not. But it's just like it's so bad. It's so bad. Like it seems like it's been forever now, doesn't it? Like all through last season, we're just going out meeting at half time. Everyone looking like they've been sucking on a lemon.
Yeah.
But there we go. So let's go to. I think that's it for news. We ain't got much else. The Karen Brady performance on Sky. I did a video on that last night. I don't quite know why she had to do that. Did you catch that, Rob?
No, in fact, I made a point of avoiding it because she makes
Good
my
call.
blood boil.
Yeah, she did that to me because I did that live reaction show, and previously early in the day before I went out, I watched a couple of minutes of it, and I almost smashed my phone up looking at it
Mm,
because it was so condescending. But I thought I'd do a live reaction and watch through it. And I still didn't get all the way through it. I had to fast forward through certain things, like where she was taking credit for Prague, and she's absolutely in her own mind. She did everything fantastically for the club. Yes, people didn't want to move, but look where we are now, and fans are used to it. The way she speaks on behalf of fans just makes me utterly sick. And funny enough, the one thing that wasn't discussed by this sycophantic host on Sky was concessions. Not a single word on concessions. So, what do you expect? I don't know what I expected, to be honest. Other than that, oh, and we saw the next leader, Jack, doing in his new role, which was not great, was it? It wasn't great. He was sitting there like a bit of a shy teenager. If I'm being, I don't want to have a go at him because he's a youngster and he comes across as a youngster, but he doesn't come across as the next leader of West Ham. But then again, I suppose Karen Brady's got a remote control to operate him, so that's probably it. So, a few comments. Karen Brady interview was nearly as bad as listening to Donald Trump's foreign policy. It wasn't. Yeah, it's actually worse. It was actually worse. No, you can't say it's worse, can you? As bad as. Yeah, it was. It was just. Let's have a look, see if we've got any other comments. Hang on a minute. No. That's it. Right. Okay, people. Right, what we're going to do now, you can look back at when football was good. I think everyone in the chat, everyone that's watching, will remember this with a lot of affection. So I'm going to put it up now. It's 1997. It is a period when we were fighting against relegation, Rob, right, with Harry Redknapp. We were almost invariably going to get relegated that year unless we made a few changes. And I think Harry Redknapp, to give him credit, he actually he managed to get Terry Brown to put his hand in his pocket, didn't he?
Well, you know how he managed to do that, or rather how it happened was because of this. There was a potential takeover bid from Michael Tabor, and the board were very worried that that he was going to end up worming his way in somehow, and they realised they were going to have to spend some money. So effectively, the takeover bid did its job in a way. It did actually persuade the board that they had to spend a few quid.
Yeah. So that was Michael Tabor who went and took over at QPR, didn't he? Or did he? Oh, no, I'm thinking of the other guy. I'm thinking of the other guy. That was Harry Redknapp's mate, Tabor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Apparently a West Ham fan or something.
I mean, he's big in horse racing and bookmaking, isn't he? Or he was at the time. I don't know what he does now.
No, that's right. So the video is 20 minutes long. Going to stop it a couple of times at pivotal moments. But here we go. Here is 1997 episode, part 17, between February and March 1997. I've got to admit, I remember this stuff as if it was yesterday. Great times to be a West Ham supporter. That table doesn't look good, does it? Third from bottom on 22 points. Dear God. And we only got one game in hand. That is crisis point. You see how bad this was?
Up the creek, really were.
Yeah. So, what do we do about it? Great signing. Greatest signing. One booking away from a two-match man. Gets a booking really early. Sorry, John. So it started well, didn't it, Rob?
Yeah, I must admit, I was there that day. I didn't see any signs that anything was going to change.
No. So we just signed two players, the saviours. And Johnny Hartson's out for 2 games.
Fortunately, in those days, suspensions didn't kick in straight away.
No.
Back with another one of those block rocking beats.
It was. I used to watch this stuff. That was never on it.
Yeah, a bit rough with her here.
Yeah, I know. Steve liked it.
Getting towards the end of the Troubles in Northern Ireland.
Yeah. So this is like, we're thinking, so this thing here, this is where a Newcastle game was called off for torrential rain. Yeah. We're trying to get, Kitson up to speed, because I don't think he'd played for ages, as he wasn't match fit. And Hartson's injured. And oh bloody hell! Did we actually go along to that game in Newcastle and then have to go home? Was it one of them?
Yeah, I got there. I think we ended up spending the evening in the Miller's Well in East End.
Yeah, I think I did as well. I think I did.
Oh,
I think I actually just got out of the car when it was called off. There's Seeley looks at me.
We're about ready to rock steady. We're about ready to rock.
So, this is the big one. This is the big one. For those of you that remember this season, this was the turning point. This was the turning point, wasn't it, Rob? And you remember the Tevez year where we lost to Tottenham at home, but it was a much improved performance. Well, this was better than that, wasn't it? This was better than that. So let's have a look, see what happened. Tell me what happened in the chat if you think you know. One of the greatest games to be at. Everything's right about that. The kit, the ground,
Weather.
the weather. Ian Walker's haircut.
Yeah. Oh, not everything was right.
No. Looks a bit too happy for me, Ted. Looks a bit too happy for me.
Look at the way this ball holds up in the wind as he
I know.
used it.
God,
Look at that.
He loved the goal, didn't he? He loved the goal. I fucking love this game.
He is the fans' biggest hero.
It's always good to beat Spurs, isn't it? But this night. Walker jammy Git got his fingers to that. I was in the Bobby Moore stand lower that night. My seat.
Yeah, I think I was as well.
Yeah.
Dick's going in again here.
Fucking wind assisted James Ward-Prowse style goal. He's never going to get an easier header in his life, is he?
Might claim it. He looked the confidence
God done that, Spurs.
of Kitson, the goalkeeper, and a gale force win.
Yeah.
West Ham cares. They're in front.
Oh, for me, it was definitely Kitson. The ball holds up in the wind.
Oh, look at that. It's fantastic. Ian Walker don't know what to do.
Easy header, this one for Kitson. 3 goals, 3 headers.
Everson, that's a useful ball.
Oh,
Everson with a chance to make
This
it
is where
2-2.
our hearts sunk.
And it's in.
Bloody hell. Good, Johnny.
Free kick as well.
Proper header. Here, watch the replay on this. Watch the way he angles his neck to this ball. It's a classic header. Proper striker. I wanted him to play for us for years. Watch what he does here. That is such a good header.
By a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No.
Good finish. Yeah, he walks around. It reminds me of that German in Euro 96.
Yeah, Moller.
This is to teach him to be smug though, wasn't it? Unlucky, mate.
Yeah, he gives away a penalty straight away.
Yeah. Stonewall penalty as well. No. What are you saying, Sharky? Are you saying that wasn't a penalty? How dare you? That's Spurs.
It's not my problem. It's not my problem.
Everyone was there. Everyone was there in the chat.
He's a
Julian,
penalty
never in
loop.
doubt. Bosh. I love that penalty. Almost as much as the Schmeichel one. No, in fact, I love this one more. Of course I do. The way he smacked the penalties. He was so good. Ian Walker just sat down, didn't he? That's what I used to like about this. All the newspapers, everyone got newspapers, didn't they?
Press absolutely hated West Ham at that time, I seem to remember.
Yeah.
We'd gone out of the League Cup at Stockport a few months before in similar weather. And they'd said, West Ham moaning about the weather. And then we beat Spurs in similar weather conditions. And it's like, the weather conditions helped West Ham.
Was that the own goal when we got knocked out to Stockport?
Yeah, the Ian Dowie own goal. It was only a few months before this.
Yeah. That was special one for Claire. She'll remember that. The own goal.
See episode 15.
Yeah, episode 15. What's this say? What's this saying here, James? Yeah, I'm not a fan of VAR. I'd like matches without VAR. Yeah. I mean, at least the mistakes seem, I don't know, depending what game you went to. I mean, if it's West Ham Arsenal, you'd kind of say that all the decisions went against us anyway, didn't they? But I don't know. What do you think of VAR, Rob? Do you want it gone?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It's not about fairness or anything like that. It's just the way it disrupts the flow of the game and leaves you standing around for 5 minutes. You know, you can't celebrate a goal properly. You used to just take a quick glance at the linesman, see if his flag was up, and that was that. You carry on. But now it's ridiculous.
It's always a check after every goal, isn't there? It's a bloody nightmare. Right, onwards. I love Johnny Hartson. I said to my cousin Paul, right, who I've always stood next to over now, when he was in his pomp, Johnny Hartson, I said he can be our striker for the next 10 years. He was everything I wanted in a striker. Bloody hell, this seems like a long time ago.
It's nearly 30 years ago, Gary.
Yeah, I know. Just rub it in, Rob. I'm getting old. So are you. We ain't got any Spice Girl fans. Are these all your ticket stubs, Rob?
Yeah, that's actually a press pass for Leeds, yeah.
Oh, Manny and Yimmy. Do you remember Mannygate, the Villa game?
Yeah.
We should have been going to Wembley. Manny. We always seemed to do badly at Leeds back then, didn't we?
Yeah, it's not traditionally a happy hunting ground, I think.
Oh, that's bad, Julian. It's bad. Still, let him off after that penalty.
This is the first game of Hartson's suspension.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so Dowie's playing up front and Michael Hughes got sent off for a stupid kick.
Ian Dowie's back up front. That's when we start thinking. He was always a hard worker, Dowie, but...
Actually, in that season, he did a lot of good work, but because he didn't score...
Look at the size of him. Let me just play that again.
Yes.
Look at the size of him. That geezer in front of him ain't even that big, is he?
No.
What's his name? Is that Gary Kelly, is it?
It's, or is it Ian Hart?
Ian Hart could be. Oh, Mark Bowen. I forgot he came from Norwich, didn't he?
We signed him from Norwich, I think. He went off to Japan.
I don't remember him.
What a weird film this was.
I've never watched it.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Richie, I think these guys are very sick.
What's happening to him? What's killing him?
I think it must be my music.
Still no Hartson against Chelsea, but it don't matter, does it, Rob? It don't matter. Eddie, you remember the Chelsea game? You remember the Chelsea game because we're on a roll now. What happened with the Chelsea game? Were you there? I was there. You were there, Rob, weren't you?
I was there. I was at every game this season, I think.
Yeah, I went to every single home game, quite a few away games in those days.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's how a club should look running out of their ground.
something else that's a modern trend, isn't it? That regardless of whether there's a kit clash,
Yeah.
or where they're wearing away kit, you just want to see if the away team can wear their home kit.
Yeah. It was called a change kit once, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A change strip, just for that reason. I used to hate Joe Royal. We had a massive head. It's really the only reason I hate him. Porfirio was a great player. I like Porfirio. How dare you? How dare you, Sinclair? You know what you did.
And now Dix.
Go on, Jules.
Goal number 8. And West Ham are back in it.
I just loved it when he took the penalty.
One of his most important goals of the season.
Where I was sitting, that was going right down my throat.
I must have been literally a few seats away from you.
Yeah.
Turned in nicely, flicked on brilliantly by Dowie. Kitson's
What
in
a
here.
finish this is. Fucking hell, what a finish. Proper striker's finish that is.
Second for West Ham.
Yeah.
He took that
On the
so
half
well,
volley.
didn't he?
On the half volley, second touch. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's actually starting to turn into a decent looking team, isn't it?
See
Great
Dowie
touch from
there.
Dowie.
Dowie there
Yeah.
getting the flip on. So he did a lot of work that went
Yeah.
unappreciated.
It was a great little touch, wasn't it, from
And
him?
he gets the flick on for the third goal as well. Spoiler alert.
Oh, Chris. Is he here? No. No. I thought he was.
Drama it would be. They can find a third from this corner from Michael Hughes.
Can you reduce some music volume? Yes, I can. Tell me when it's right. I'll turn it down to there. Trouble is, I'll reduce the music. I'll reduce the thingy as well. I'm still playing with this. We'll get it right.
Martin Godliman doing the commentary, who actually is the stadium announcer still the stadium announcer today, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's the one that used to do that thing that really wound me up, like Harry's at the Hammers, yeah?
Probably.
I hated that, you know. Especially when we were down the bottom about to get relegated, I was thinking, what are they so happy about? He was a great workhorse, Chris. Yeah, he was. Absolutely he was. And yeah,
It's still
Kitson
by
was-
no means certain. Look at that table. Although
No.
we got games in hand at least there.
Yeah, but it was what's it called? I keep doing this slightly in the wrong order. Let's go back. There we go. So it's like, where are we? We're 28 points, joint third from bottom with Forest with 2 games in hand, won 7, drawn 7, lost 14, inferior goal difference. Bloody hell, that is tight, isn't it? That is tight. But it must be very shortly now when Johnny Hartson comes back, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's back next match after this.
Yeah. Is that the right volume, people? Yeah, he's a lovely bloke, Darren. He's a lovely bloke. We had a chat with him over in Prague. He's just mixing with the fans out the back there with Tony Gow and co. Yeah, Hughes, Dowie, Kenny Brown. We're in the Shannon. Claire was, you know, especially. I mean, Dowie used to target her wherever she was drinking. I think, didn't she? All right, Claire. How many subs back then? I don't know. Was it
2.
3?
2.
How many subs
No,
were
it
you
was
allowed?
3, but you could only use 2, couldn't you?
Oh,
You could have 3 subs. One was normally a goalkeeper.
yeah. You're allowed about 17 now, aren't you?
Rhubarb and custard away kit.
I quite liked it though, you know.
Yeah.
I quite like that kit.
All right.
As retro kits go. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't buy one. It's always been a dive, that Selhurst Park. It was even worse when Wimbledon played there, wasn't it? They always had a good time against us, Wimbledon. Football was just more fun then, though, wasn't it? It's just, I think you could relate to the team a lot more back then. It's Skippy. Young Joey Cole.
That's Hugo.
Oh, it's Hugo.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit...
Joe Cole doesn't appear for another year or so.
That's right, because he starts appearing around about that Inter-Toto Cup final, doesn't he? Definitely looks like Joey Cole, but I can see what you're saying there. Yeah. So he was he came on from the bench in the Inter-Toto Cup final, didn't he?
Yeah, he'd made he'd got into the team quite a way before that and made several appearances before being in the Youth Cup final.
Yeah.
I think he made his debut turn of the year '99.
You still got that shirt, Claire? Have you? I never bought that shirt. I didn't buy shirts back then, though. So we're still very much in trouble. It only improved. I've not seen this either.
Yeah, it's quite hard work. English
Yeah,
coach.
it won 6 Academy Awards, so they usually are, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you got the beige kit hanging on my way next to the centenary kit. Dark blue feeler. No, I love that one. I love the dark blue feeler one. That's right up my street, hands. Highfield Road. I went there a few times. It's a shame that all these old stadiums we've seen the baseball ground, haven't we? And now Highfield Road don't exist anymore. There's a couple of great goals here, isn't there? I love this one. Johnny Hartson, Bosch, have some of that. He was so bloody good. If only he hadn't lost his head and kicked Eyal Berkovic. Tried to decapitate Eyal Berkovic. Johnny Monks. Just great fast footwork for a striker, just like we saw from Evan Ferguson when he got that ball from Paquetá. They just make a little bit of space for themselves and get the shot off, don't they? Yeah, that was terrible from Dublin. Absolutely right. Still, he's gone on to form a career in the daytime reality show, and he the old yes, Rio, when Rio was normal. Yeah, the fans were together as one. You're right. You're absolutely right. I wish it was like that now. Yeah, it just ain't. Maybe one day. Maybe when this divisive ball go away. Look at those nuts. Yeah, but you want. He could take a free kick. There's nothing he couldn't do. There's nothing he couldn't do. Yeah, I've got bad memories of the Dell though. Just got beat bloody last time I went. It's like Stuart Slater.
My mate used to call the Dell the Dickensian tinderbox.
It was just, yeah. Roger Ferdinand celebration. Yeah, I didn't like it either. I didn't like it. Do you reckon he meant the toe punt? There's little Joey Cole. Or is that for Porfirio?
No, it's Porfirio still.
He's
still like, Hugo.
He's like fucking double of Joey Cole.
And the pullback for Kitson. Goodness, that was travelling Hartson.
God, Johnny. Ah, oh, at that. Yes. Rio, you named your son after Rio Ferdinand, and he just went and left, Darren. He went and left. The atmosphere was better in every ground, wasn't it? In every ground, not only ours. I mean, it was just just different. I think the working class has been taken out of football, or they've been erased from football.
And goodness me, how Hartson punished Coventry.
Yeah. John Moncurry's good mates with my brother. He lives in Loughton. Yeah. He was a nutter. I did love Johnny Hartson, though.
This is Julian Dix. Julian Dix picks up his injury, his really bad injury, and he's out for 18 months.
Yeah, that was terrible, wasn't it?
Pretty much it.
So he was out for 549 days. 549 days. Bloody hell. That is... Here comes Chris. A bit late. Better late than never. Hello, Chris.
Hello,
Chris.
Hey, Rob.
Oh, you've missed quite a lot on this video, but what I'm going to do is, after we're finished, just for old time's sake, I'm going to take you back to the Tottenham game, right? Because I think that deserves one more viewing.
Oh, the 4-3. I was watching a bit of it on the train just now, mate. Yeah, I've been watching it. I've been watching it. Do you know, I'll be honest with you, I thought we were here for the Karen Brady watch along again. But if you want to go back, then
I will never do one of them again, Chris. I'll never do one of them again. My heart rate monitor went off halfway through that video. Says you're sitting still and yet your heart rate is excessively high. Is it like any surprise?
Oh, mate, honestly.
Yeah. Yes, they did, Mandy. They definitely had more character. You could relate to them more. They were like normal people, weren't they? Today they're like racehorses. Like Akabusi said, they're like thoroughbreds.
Steve Grizovic, I remember him.
Yeah. He never recovered from that injury. No, he didn't. He didn't, Dave. He was very young when he retired, yeah. But he had no cartilage, did he? So, let's go back there a minute. Hang on a minute. Sorry.
Is it just sound quality is really bad at my end? Is it me?
Sounds all right to me.
Okay.
Yeah, seems all right.
So 15. So this is where the video finishes, right? 33 points. 33 points. Still not safe from relegation. We do end up safe. We end up relatively in a comfortable position, don't we? But still not safe at the moment. It was a bloody long way around, wasn't it?
Yeah, there were some games we should have won in the last 6 matches that we didn't, and in the end, Southampton got themselves out of it in the end, didn't they? Even though they're bottom of the table in that caption.
Well, they beat us, didn't they?
Yeah. Berkovic.
Yeah. I remember watching him at Charlton. He was getting murdered, got subbed. Who's that?
Yeah, Harry hung him out to dry, didn't he, when he come back?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he played him as a wing back, didn't he?
Played him as a wing back.
Yeah.
Who's that girl?
Yeah. Annie Mills.
Let's stop that now. So, well, let me just stop sharing a minute. What it was, when Julian's knees were absolutely knackered, Harry Redknapp played him as a wing back in a back 5 or a back 3, and he got roasted. Yeah, and Harry Redknapp just yeah. So that was it. It was all over for him. But it was who owned the club during this period. Oh yeah, bloke we really used to have a lot of affection for, Terry Brown. He didn't own the club. He was it was the legacy ones that owned it, wasn't it, Rob? The what are they called?
The Kearns. And the
yeah. He was the chief executive. Wasn't he? Yeah.
He had quite a big stake though, didn't he? He did have quite a big
Brown?
stake in the club. Yeah.
Oh right, I didn't realise he did, but yeah. Oh, cheers. Rob will like that, but yeah, it goes back to good times. It goes back to good times. I think we should. I don't care whether you want to see it again or not, Chris. I'm going to go back and watch the Tottenham part.
Yeah, go to that. I remember that game so well. It was a really about this cold, blustery night, wasn't it? Really windy. I remember
it was horrible out. It was horrible out. But Spurs were coming to town. We were getting relegated, and we were going to not get relegated, right? And this was the turning point, wasn't it? And just everything about this, like the kit. The weather, the ground, the crowd, everything was brilliant about this night. One of the best nights ever.
So before you put that on, Gal, where did you? Yeah. So where in the season did you start this?
We started it in the bottom 3, a couple of games just before Hartson and Kitson signed.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So it's like not many games to go.
So this would have been post Relegation and all those kind of players, wouldn't it? That second half of the season, because that.
Yeah, they've. We've gone through that little period where we've got Mike Newell up front and and Steve Jones, bless his heart,
Steve Jones.
who couldn't hit a cow's ass with a banjo. Neither of them. And
Steve Jones up front. What a partnership.
And then there's the protests against the board and the potential takeover. And that was what sort of motivated the board to put their hands in their pockets to buy Hartson and Kitson.
Yeah, I remember.
I was in the whole tent as well that night. But anyway, let's give this another little airing because it deserves it. Were you there that night, Chris?
No, I remember exactly where I was.
What?
I was sitting at home. Mate, I was well, this was 95, 96, right?
97.
97.
Was this 97? All right, so I was 16 years old. I was 16 years old at this point. So I could barely afford to get a ticket at the moment. But do you know, the funny thing about it is I remember the 90s so much more clearly than I do last year. I can remember it so well. It's incredible, right? I don't know about you guys.
Because it was memorable.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was, wasn't it? It was. You had players that were kind of playing for the shirt, and it was just, you know, players that you could relate to because actually it was no kind of superstardom and fame and this, that, and the other. It was just not well. You know,
that's exactly what Mandy said just now. You could relate to the players, right? You could relate
totally.
to the players. And that's what I think has happened in the last 2 seasons. Very often the players have become unrelatable.
Oh, you earned decent money, didn't you, Gal? You must be up there with Paqueta, surely. 150 grand, 200 grand a week?
200 grand a week, yeah. Well, you know, it's take pay cut, Chris.
Yeah. It's tough times, isn't it, really?
It's a great assist from the wind there, wasn't it?
Are you watching something, Gal? Because I can't see anything.
Yeah, you're not sharing it, Gary.
No, you're just being selfish now.
I'm just watching it to myself.
Oh, you are? You're just like,
Gary.
What are you doing?
For fuck's sake, Gary, you idiot. Right. Right, okay, here we go. Should have told me, you know. Should have told me.
No, we should have carried it on, shouldn't we, Rob? We should have let them carry on.
Yeah,
I've seen it before. I've seen it before.
No one in the chat mentioned the bloody thing, did they? You mentioned I'll try and picks with the header. Tell you what, it went off a good header. But you know, from him. But the other one that we saw against Chelsea, that was special from Johnny Hartson. It really was. Yeah, we're going to do more of these, Martin. We're going to do more of these. But the video goes through quite quickly, so might do 2 next time. Don't forget, by the way, if you like these videos, go along to Rob's website, West Ham History, subscribe. And you've got 230 odd of these going from the Lyle years all the way up to the Redknapp years. They're still being released now, aren't they, Rob? $350 a week. Right. Oh, what has happened? Whoa. Yeah, our balls up regularly. You're right. You know what it is? It's my eyes. My eyes are rubbish. I need to get new glasses.
I love that goal. I love that goal. The wind, the way it pushes that ball back is brilliant.
Yeah. Rio and Lampard, it looks so happy during this time. You know,
like when you think about that night and that game, I mean, what a game to make your debut in for Hartson and Kitson. I mean,
I know
it's incredible, isn't it? And to also both of them to score on that night as well. I mean,
that was a God-assisted goal, Chris, wasn't it? That one.
It doesn't get better than that, does it? Let's be honest.
No,
if you're making your debut for West Ham, scoring a couple, a goal apiece. I mean, bloody hell.
There's nothing better in my eyes than coming back from behind to win a game.
Particularly against Spurs as well.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's all over Campbell there, isn't he? All over him.
Yeah. Just absolutely fantastic. I just love Johnny Hartson.
You don't see goals like that anymore, do you? You don't see a centre forward absolutely bossing a centre half like that, all over him.
No.
I mean, it probably when I saw
be giving us a foul now, probably.
Yeah. We'd wait for the Moyes years. Green badge.
What was that?
He's going to wait for the Moyes years. Because you know the series is Lyle years, it's Bonds years, Redknapp years, it's also Macari Mumps. Yeah, that's right.
That's a tidy finish, that is. What was that, David Howes? Yeah.
It is, but look at him strut around like a peacock, like that geezer from Germany in '96. and now he pays back. Payback. Karma's a bitch sometimes, isn't it? Sorry, Dave, mate. What'd you do? What'd you do? You know you're wrong. Guilty as charged, my
Where
love.
were you sitting in this game?
Bobby
How
Moore
you-
stand, obviously.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Directly in the line of this penalty.
Are you literally behind the goal?
I was about, you know the seat I'm in now.
Can we zoom in there? Can we see her?
Probably, yeah. No. I love that. I just love those penalties.
Yeah.
Super Johnny Hartson. See, I was gutted when we started singing Big Fat Johnny Hartson. I hated that. I really did.
Julian Dixon's penalties was something else, weren't they? I mean, I remember he's kind of like around taking the penalties. He just picked it to the bottom, hit it as hard as he could, didn't he? Absolutely blast it. Reminds me a bit of the United penalty where he nearly took off Schmeichel's hand. So similar, absolutely blast it.
The keeper barely gets a chance to fall
That one
over.
against United, that one against Schmeichel. If Schmeichel had touched it, he'd have lost his hand, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he would have. Yeah.
it was that powerful.
Yeah.
It's scary
Right.
to think this is nearly 30 years ago, right? It's just absolutely scary to think that. It really is. Oh my word.
Yeah.
30 years ago.
I just love that. I love that stuff. That is prime West Ham for me. I mean, there's also, when I was growing up, like the Trevor Brooking and Devonshire era and stuff like that. That was special to me. It's sort of before your time, Chris, but I really loved that era, and I love this era as well. There was so much shit in between. I mean, the late 80s were just like yo-yo years, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I've got much clearer memories of the 90s, early 90s. I did go to games back in the 80s as well, but
yeah,
I don't remember them as clearly as I do in the 90s. That was kind of like my era, really, for West Ham and how I fell in love with it. And, you know, again, you look at... I actually really loved that season. I really, really did love that season. But equally, I don't know what it was, but the season, I think it was it the season before that, where we drew with United? 1-1 last game of the season. Was it the season before that, or was that 2 seasons before? I'm trying to remember.
That was the end of 94-95, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so May 95.
So that season, that was when I really became infatuated by West Ham. I loved that. Absolutely loved that season, particularly when we beat Liverpool 3-0. I remember I think we beat Blackburn, and then we drew with United home last game of the season. I absolutely infatuated by West Ham at that point. But I also
that was another season where we looked doomed in sort of turn of the year and pulled it round.
Yeah. No, we did.
We did actually. And Brian says, as an American West Ham supporter that only became a fan 15 years ago, I'm loving all this. Thank you, fellas. Brian, there's so much more to come, but this was like those Upton Park nights where, because the pitch weren't great, we had no drainage, which is why that Newcastle game got called off, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, even when we had, do you remember when we had the new pitch and we forgot to turn the defroster on, or whatever it was called, and it iced over, didn't it? Only at West Ham. Only at West Ham. It's just like, and there was the other one where the Palace game, wasn't it, where it went black because someone had a bet on it in the Middle East, didn't they?
Oh yeah, betting syndicate.
Did Lampard score and then suddenly the lights went out? If memory serves me right, I'm sure it was something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Scored, didn't
something
we?
like
And
that.
then it went out.
So, but yeah, lots of memories. But yeah, you missed a chicken run. Is that where you were? Mark Pendleton, chicken run? I spent 3 years. I kept my tickets in the Bobby Moore. Someone else sat in them, but I bought 3 more to take my kids and also my cousin Paul's boy as well, Ryan. So I moved over there for 3 years, down the Bobby Moore end, of course. So speaking to Gary Fermager every game, yep. It was
First season ticket was on the chicken run when it was terrace.
Yeah.
86.
That was the best time to be there, wasn't it? When it was a terrace, because it was quite ferocious.
You could change ends at half time as well, couldn't you?
Yeah. 4-1 to stay up. Rossini, I loved Leroy, I loved Leroy Rossini. I thought he was a great player for us. Didn't cost very much, did he? But he was a great player. The title should be when the football was good at Upton Park. But again, it's not just that. It's when, if you look at the other grounds, it is when football was good. Proper football grounds. Because there's another video we were looking at today, Rob, and that's when like Derby put their new ground up, the baseball ground closes, and several other, Stoke moved to the Britannia. There's all these old grounds just fell by the wayside. The Stadium of Light got built instead of Roker Park, and it's just sad, It's sad. So yeah, I do mean football in general. The rules were better. It seemed like the referees were fairer. It was all right, maybe not against Man United, whatever. North Bank girl. I was a North Bank girl as well, Claire. Not a North Bank girl, but I moved from. We went West Lower where we stood up to start with my dad and co. Down the front by the South Bank end, and then when I could go by myself, I stood in the North Bank, middle of the North Bank, and then after that, season tickets in the Bobby Moore. No, season tickets just behind John Lyle on the bench on the in the West Stand for about half a season. You remember you could buy the half season tickets?
Yeah.
That's what me and Paul got first of all.
I used to sit in the old wooden. I used to sit in the old wooden seats in the West Upper. Loved it. Loved it up there. All the old boys sitting there having a cigarette, watching the game. It was fantastic. Loved it.
There was the chicken run. They were very angry over there. There was someone I know. I can't remember his name, but anyway, I worked with him years ago, and his dad was a vicar, and they went to a night game, and they arrived a little bit late, and their seats were right in the middle of a row, and they were pushing through. His dad, the vicar, had not been to a West Ham game before or any football game. They're pushing through. The people behind them are getting more and more irritated, and someone just stood up and said, "Sit down, you." You know the word. Yeah. Early 2000s Chelsea home game called off around Christmas due to a corner of the pitch being frozen. Yeah, I think that's the one where they forgot to turn it on. I think because we already had the kind of expensive pitch by then, didn't we? I started following West Ham in 2017, so don't feel bad. No, exactly. And also, it's just I'm so glad that this stuff has been preserved because there's so much goodness at Upton Park. You know, it was like. And they've put us in a fucking athletic stadium. But anyway, let's not get into that.
You know, when I watch those videos, and I've watched quite a few of your videos, Rob, I think they're brilliant. I really do. It just brings back so many good memories. And I often, when I watch that, I literally can picture my granddad with me because he went to a lot of those games with me. And it means so much to me. I've got some of the old West Ham videos. I used to buy the videos from, the season reviews. Yeah. I don't know where they are. I think my dad might have thrown them away or something, which is just complete sacrilege, but I remember them so well. And I'll tell you, when I watch those, it really does, like I say, it brings back memories, and I can just picture my granddad there, like I said, and it means the world to me. And I'm sure a lot of people that watch your videos,
I get a lot of messages from people who say, this reminds me of when I used to go with my granddad, stroke uncle, stroke dad, stroke whatever, and that wasn't the necessarily the object at the start, but when you get so much positive feedback like that, and so many positive memories, people tell you about, and they'll tell you about what was happening in their lives at that time as well, and it's it's really interesting.
Well, I watched some of your videos back, and I can actually recall the pre-match build-up to that particular game. It suddenly kind of triggered a memory in me, and I'm thinking, right, I know exactly what I did. The way I walked to the stadium and everything. I can remember it so clearly, and. Yeah, like you said, Gal, these were special times for me and for so many West Ham fans back at Upton Park. And it's such a shame because, when you look at the youngsters that go to the London Stadium now, they will never have that experience of having gone to Upton Park. They won't. I'm so glad that I managed to take Fred to Upton Park because he did get a few games in right before we moved. Yeah. But I would have been gutted, as you would have been as well with your kids, Gal, right? If you hadn't given them the opportunity to take them to Upton Park, because it was just. Yeah, like you said in the thumbnail, when football was good, and it wasn't just about the actual games. It was the build-up. It was the walking to the stadium. It was walking down the Barking Road, or I used to go down around the back of Priory Road and then going to the bowling, getting a pint, getting a bit of pie and mash, whatever. All of those things. All of the smell of urine when you're walking around in the stadium. All of that. You don't get that anymore. And that, for me, is football. That's football, and that's what I miss. That's when you go to away games and you smell those horrible old smells of dirty burgers and all that. I miss that so much.
That smell of fried onions and horse shit.
Yeah,
it wasn't just that though.
It was standing in horse shit as well. Because I used to be all over my shoes when you come out Upton Park.
Oh, I did. But it was the whole day, like you said. I mean, we with Rob, we were with a group. Marie Parks, who's sadly left us now, and Colin as well. A big group of us used to go down the Black Lion, and it was so good, wasn't it? It was like leagues away from anything you could do at that new ground, wasn't it?
Yeah,
just different.
It is. It's completely different. And I always talk about it, Go. I always talk about this kind of detachment from players nowadays because you go back to that era there, Rob, that you had in your video that season, and also I think probably about another 2, 3, 4 seasons before that. I used to go down to the training ground with my mates We used to skip school, go down to Chadwell Heath, and Harry would let you in. You'd go in there, as everyone pretty much knows from that era. You'd go in, you just stand there watching the players. You talk to the players like they're just basically, they're just normal blokes doing a job, right? And I hate the fact that that's been removed from football nowadays, where it's such a, I don't know, kids look at it as such an amazing thing that if a player gets anywhere close to them, it's like, do you know what? They're just football players doing a job. They're not superstars. They shouldn't be perceived as superstars. I hate that about football nowadays. I really do. The way money is completely detached, the fans from the players. It's just wrong.
Did you go to this, Rob? The Bury game where we won 10-0 and then
that was my fourth. Yeah. I think it was my third or fourth game. And we'd won the previous 3 as well. And I thought, this is all right. I can do this.
So we bought their centre half, didn't we? After beating them 10-0, we bought their centre half, and he ended up playing as a striker for us. That Paul Hilton.
Paul Hilton, yeah.
Yeah, when Cotty got injured. Yeah, and there was another one that reminded me as well. Just I think Barnsley, just before Lyle got sacked. I think Barnsley.
Oh yeah, we were 2-0 up, weren't we? We lost 5-2 in extra time.
It was horrible that night. The crowd booed him onto the pitch. I hated it. I loved him. He was like, it's like he'd always been there, John Lyle. When I was growing up, I started going in like '76, and it was kind of always put into us. We loved him and Ron Greenwood and everyone else, and it was just like royalty being booed. Not that I'm a royalist, but I'm saying West Ham royalty. Lyle built Hilton. Yes, he did. Right, so I think that's it for this episode. So, look, if you enjoyed the show, we're going to make a habit of it, and we're going to, depending on what era we do, because we've got all the way from the 70s up to the 2000s at the moment. So we just got to cherry pick a video, or maybe 2 in a row, because that went through a bit quickly actually, to do it in future. So thank you, Rob, for that. And don't forget, if you go along to West Ham history, subscribe to the channel. Also, could you subscribe to this channel, the Bobby Moore Stand? Give the video a like and hit the bell notification icon, not necessarily in that order. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Chris, for the last 10 minutes.
sorry.
Yeah. No, it's worth it in the end, Chris. It's quality rather than quantity, isn't it, with you?
Well, I wouldn't have done about that, mate, but I try to convince people that.
But yeah, fantastic video, Rob, and the music, the soundtrack on that was really good as well. Really good.
You were a Spice Girls fan when you go back in the day. You must have been
massive. I had the dress and everything. I had the Union Jack dress. Yeah.
But you were more Ginger Spice then, were you?
I was Ginger. Yeah, I was Ginger Spice. Obviously, I've always been Ginger.
What about you, Rob?
Me?
Who's your favourite Spice Girl?
I have to admit it was Emma Bunton.
Yeah,
but
Bunton. It would have been
if I was pushed.
Yeah. Would have been dark-haired Spice. It was dark-haired Spice, Posh Spice, but I didn't really like it that much. But I like the dark hair. I like the dark hair.
You just like the music, didn't you, Gal? I can imagine you strutting your stuff back in the day to the Spice Girls. I can picture
very much so. Very much so. So yeah. So we are done. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's find an outro. Should we do, seeing as we've demonetized ourselves already, should we go for the let's just do this is very topical, off the back of the Karen Brady debacle on Sky, where she blew smoke up her own arse for being brilliant.
Why don't you use the video as an outro, Gal? The whole video as an outro.
No, I'm never watching that thing again. No.
Yeah, well, it's been fun, guys.
Yeah. I'm gonna put Canning Town Lens tourist video on, which is a work of art. Brilliant. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, in the chat for your comments. Thank you, Claire and Bodger, for doing moderation, and see you all soon. Come on your hands.
Hey Goldie, what's on today's to-do list?
Why, it's match day, Dave. Are you hoping for a full house tonight?
Not too fast. As long as we sell all the tickets. I don't care if you come down here.
Make more money for the tourists here, so I don't care if you come down here.
Nathan Bellevicky's got a boy for the night. His ex-missus said you better treat her kitty right. Buys a kid a ticket and a burger and a Sprite. Got a train home, 200 Nicolai.
Cause I don't care if you come down here, cause you make more money for the tourists here, so I don't give a monkey if you come down here.
Stop from the pocket, took a bully in the water. Yeah, but lots of rumble, but it can't get sore. Climbs more stairs than he did before. What's his old seat? He's got a pay more.
Cause I don't care, I don't care, I don't care if you come down here. Cause they make more money for the tourists here. So we don't give a monkeys if you come down here.
The caviar only goes to football with his wife. He did it as a kid and he's done it all his life. But he don't get a winter fuel allowance anymore. So we're gonna sell his ticket to a bloke for Singapore.
I don't care, I don't care, I don't care if you come down here. Cause they make more money for the tourists here. But we don't give a monkeys if you're here next year. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care if you come down here. Cause they make more money for the tourists here.